Take a load off. Drop in, tune out, and get a buzz. Sit back and relax. Don't worry, you're meant to sink into the couch. You can't tell, but you are still breathing. Now comes the gentle melding of surfaces. Your surroundings turning into a kaleidoscope pattern that makes the windows look frosty. Not unreal, but then they pulsate. You wonder at the deceptive power of the human brain. Am I in a different reality? Not yet, but you thought that was it. You've only just begun, buddy. Without a discernible change, the lights go out and you appear in a scene. The colour palette seems weird. It seems cartoonish. Turns out you can move your head. It dawns on you. Your friends are Simpsons. You see who's who and discover that you are Maggie. Welcome to man-made psychedelics, or as I like to call it, the scary drawer. Before you lies 9 hours of half-hour trips, followed by a 15-minute break to what you think is a party. In hindsight, you'll see you were walking around someone else's house, talking to yourself, in character, as if you have a martini glass in hand. Each time you return, the break speeds up, until you can't take the 30 seconds of fear, not knowing where you're going next or if you'll ever appear out of this mental prison you've found yourself in. Prepare yourself for the drug special. On this very special episode of the news, we have a blockbuster show for you. Not one that will become obsolete, but one that's mega exciting. So to kick it off, let's set the scene. For a long time, pharmaceutical companies have held a monopoly over our health. Feel bad? Here's a pill. Side effects include annoying stuff and possible death, but don't worry, that outweighs the sadness you're feeling, or slightly high cholesterol, or the inability to ingest sugar. We're not making you ill so we can continuously profit off your misery. Us? Nah, never. Now we see they can't even protect us from a tiny virus. It's a single-celled organism. We've got tons of cells. We are top trumps, top dogs, top of the pile. Thankfully, the landscape of medicine is changing. The ancient spiritual religions have been proven to have real effects. Meditation has been proven to affect our mental health and nervous system for the better. Current consciousness theory tells us that consciousness is energy. Physics tells us that energy never dies, bringing a new level of understanding that means reincarnation is potentially real. Fingers crossed I can come back as a woman so I can stare at myself naked in the mirror for lengths of time. Now, we go to Floyd Pinkerton with an update on the situation.
Hello. This development has led to people trusting the esoteric beliefs entirely. Lunatics are using leaves, not of any plant that has medicinal property, but basically anything green. Hence, the bovine diet has become a big hit. Eating grass is within enjoyment guidelines, but our insides aren't the same as cows. We can't process grass, so it just sort of shoots out at you constantly. Reports of human fecal matter snail trails are coming in from all over towns found in the countryside. We recently heard of a scientist who tried to remedy this by swapping his subject's innards with that of a cow, which led to people having to walk on all fours due to a lack of space in an upright human body. So really, not anything more mental than a CIA experiment. Another path that has emerged is the placebo effect. So we've known for a long time things don't work if you don't believe they will, akin to how cuts and scrapes don't always hurt until you notice them. And the converse is true if you're told a sugar pill will cure your hiccups. 5 times out of 10, they'll be gone before you know it. You know, for when your mum descending from the ceiling in a predator costume won't do the trick. A new type of psychiatry has emerged. To not spoil the effect, you can't tell the difference. But ultimately, one's filling you with poison and the other's lying to your brain. Progress of a sort.
Medicine is evolving. Lovely. Up next, the new drug-based entertainment, Bong Brother. But first, an advert break. Please listen carefully as this one is close to my heart.
You put your sausage in, you put your bacon in, you put some mash beside it, you got mash up.
I'm Don Jondle. You may recognise me from news. A lot of you may not know, but I have a secret passion for slightly changing meals. Do you like having food with other food? What about a classic with a heap of something that's mashed? The mash-up. Mash with your fry-up. Feel like you want 30% of a Sunday roast and 100% of breakfast meats? This is the meal for you. Dirty cow-hating vegan? Mash up some nutritious but barely delicious root vegetable. Enjoy with your cardboard-based meat replacement. We cater to, but don't necessarily respect, all life choices. So come down to Dawn's Mashup, the only place where you can get this delicacy. Shh, don't let them know how easy it is to make. We've got exclusive reports on the new social experiment game show that's been proposed. Back to Floyd with the latest.
Remember a good decade or two ago, when that TV show that was a social experiment was on the air, and it quickly devolved into a way for idiots to become famous? Well, it's had a makeover. We present to you Bong Brother. Here's the scene. A house in which 10 people will live in for a month. Strangers, picked at random, with different levels of drug tolerance. When they enter the house, they are presented with an unmarked tray of drugs. Each contestant takes a drug ranging from weed to coke to PCP and heroin. I don't know about you, but I can't wait to see who gets the acid. Then we watch how they react. Also, how 10 people on different drugs interact with each other. Give them a couple of days to flush their system out or come out of their coma, and then repeat the process. Tasks will be assigned over these days to test their abilities under the influence. Tasks such as building IKEA furniture, writing a play, and how well you perform in military exercises. Nothing to do with the 40% stake that went to redacted, probably.
Simple and effective. Entertained while we learn. I'm impressed. Back in the real world, the trade of illegal drugs is changing. Whereas before you could go to a dealer, now we're stuck inside. We can't get that sweet relief that's classified as a harmful drug that has no medical benefits when in fact the opposite is true. Dealers have had to be on their toes. Reports of delivery services of drugs plus essentials like toilet roll is becoming a common sight. Fair play for combining your technically illegal pursuit with one of necessity. Little known secret. Dealers of weed and coke always have a plentiful supply of toilet roll due to the munchies and the coke shots. Also, a white gold cold makes the need for tissues a useful practicality. Other ways dealers are combating our new way of life is by organising drop-offs. A locked briefcase is placed at a discreet spot. In a bush next to a bench, painted to blend in with the tree, and drone drops are being utilised. A few reports of confusion are coming in. That's because both parties are usually already high. They all forget to check with each other. Each get the same style of briefcase and end up returning 3 or 4 times after forgetting which is which repeatedly. The Anti-Drug Vigilante Intelligent Leak Squad, or ADVILs for short, are happy with this as it makes their jobs easier. Some may call them idiots, but I used to get so high. I watched that movie, How High, thinking I'd never seen it before. Turns out, I'd literally watched it 3 times and forgot it existed, over and over again. We can all be hampered by drugs. Next up, we have an exclusive report from the closest thing to a hippie that we'll allow on the show. Petal McPleasant, are you there?
Greetings, human person. I'm afraid I had a bit too much brownie. I thought it was just a tasty treat, not a hellscape of a Jeffrey.
A Jeffrey? Is that new youth slang or something?
Well, technically, yes. It's been around for a while since it was portrayed in a popular movie as as a joint which contains multiple substances. Speed makes the flame green, don't you know? So, apparently I've just ingested weed, cocaine, and ecstasy, although 3 substances are practically the child's meal of the Jeffrey world. 6 and up is a standard amount. But this is for connoisseurs of bizarre neurological events, well thought out combinations that give different experiences. The one I had is termed Speedy Weedy Love Times. An initial buzz from the cocaine subsided to a more energetic high, with the pleasant feeling of being baked, and to that a future of waves of euphoria washing over your existence. I was told it would take an hour or so to kick in, and I've felt absolutely nothing. No, it's...
Oh, I think we've lost her. Petal, you okay?
When was that? What? No, you're not allowed on the swings, but I do want to rub your hair. Nice, good feeling, good times. Oh, good squirrel.
Don't think she'll be much use at the moment. We'll just move.
Oh, hello. I'm Don Jondle, and I think I'm brilliant in that. Oh, look at me. I talk to people through wires and stuff.
No, you're not. Don't try and fool people, you good-for-nothing hippie. I am God King here, and you will obey. Ha-hee-ha-ha. 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 Hey-ha-ha.
Hey, these fuckers have been riding my back for too long. I stepped in and they ridiculed me, let me out dry, and then said never again. It's intern Tom, by the way. I guess I didn't really think this whole voice modulator thing through. Well, let's see how you guys like it. I've spiked the water supply. Although, I am awfully thirsty. Oh dear God, what have I done?
Alternative News, written by David Isaac, starring David Isaac, Ross Gibbons, Michael McGinn and Jamie Morrison, with music by Twisterium, scripted by Jamie Morrison with additional dialogue by the cast.